Welcome to the Foxhole. I'm Nondor Fox Schaefer, and we are live. I was looking at the last time I was live, and it was like in August of last year, I think, which is absolutely crazy to me. It does not feel like that long. I'm gonna give some time for people to come in here and enter the chat, enter the conversation, and so I'm just gonna kind of be uh, flying off the cuff here and talking. As you can see, I'm wearing a hat. I was going to say a shirt, but a hat. This is actually, I got this merch from the Mia Folick concert that I went to last week. So uh, if you guys have never, this is, she didn't ask me to do this. I'm just advertising her music, um, but yeah, I like it. It's kind of funny. I feel like people will look at it and be like, "What's that all about?" But no, I just wanted to hang out with you guys. This is really exciting. Really exciting day for me. Actually, I will take this off. Um, but just be a little bit easier. Gotta stick with the. I need a Foxhole Comics hat. That would be really fun. I'm actually going to be offering a T-shirt for the next campaign that I'm doing, and I'm really excited to show that off. But I have a couple people in the chat here. Seven Night Samurai says, "Is that a Steve Epting variant?" Oh, yes, it is. You know it is, and we're going to be showing it off. I can't wait to uh, share what our topic of today's live stream is going to be. I've been running and racing around after getting off work to be here. Also, the Yankees are playing the Red Sox tonight, and that's happening in like half an hour. And I was like, how am I going to do all this all in one night? But I really wanted to show these books off to you and do an unboxing live. The last time I was live, hey Kevin, what's up, dude? Thanks for being here. Hope you're well. Hope you've been okay. Sorry again for being late. I know I said 6 p.m., but my camera wasn't working, and then I was trying to set up two cameras, and it wasn't turning on. And you have all of this technology, and I've bought all this cool stuff to use, and then it doesn't work. And I need I need patience to get through all this stuff. But I'm really excited to um, talk with you guys and to be here. This is really cool. I kind of like this little lighting that I have going on. It almost reminds me, like, I don't know if you guys watch High Top's videos. He does a lot of great video essays on comic book movies. Sometimes he'll do live streams, and it's kind of like this underground vibe, and that's what this reminds me of. But yeah. Anyways, like I said, apologies if I'm kind of rambling. I'm just getting a bit hold of myself here. Ben, I'm so glad you're here. I cannot wait to look at these together. So, everyone, this is Ben Morris in the chat, and he is one of the cover artists for Man Child issue 3. And I guess I'm bearing the lead here, but we're unboxing Man Child issue 3 today. And his cover is something that I don't think I've seen in the indie comic space, which is a gatefold cover. This is, uh, the backstory behind it was I wanted to do something innovative and special for this third issue, and I was thinking about Jim Lee's X-Men #1 cover and how that was like a gatefold fold out. Um, and I was like, can we even do that? Like, is it possible to do that? And is the printer that I use, can they do that? I don't really want to go to a different printer, but if I have to, I will. Uh, and I reached out to them, and they said they could do it. And then I approached Ben about it, and he seemed really excited about the idea. And I was like, let's do it. Like, man, like let's try it out and see what how it turns out. And so we're gonna check that out today. And it's exciting. And not only that, but we have the Steve Epting variant that we're gonna be showing off. If you guys do not know, Steve Epting is my favorite comic book artist of all time. Huge reason why I got into comics. Huge reason why I love Captain America. He's my favorite superhero. Uh, and we'll get into all of that. So this is really cool. Like I said, I'm gonna have like two cameras set up here. Let me see. Um, Let me see how this works. How this looks right now. If I try this. Doo-doo-doo. Hmm. And it's not wanting to do it. Okay. Um. Maybe if I switch cameras. Let's try that. Okay. Yeah. You guys can still hear me, right? We'll just do that. Like, I'll switch cameras, and this is where I'm going to have the books, show them off. And we'll just kind of go back and forth here and see what we can do. Man, StreamYard's changed so much since last time I've used it. Like I said, though, I haven't really used it in a while. Uh, and it's like what, $50 now per month when it used to be like 15 bucks or 10 bucks. So wild. So guys, if you're watching, I see people are tuning in. Comment below, comment in the chat. Tell me uh, how your day is. How is everything going? How is life going? If you're a backer of Man Child issue 3, jump in. Let me know how excited you are. What cover did you back? This will be my 7th book, my 9th campaign that I've done, because I've done a couple of like second chance campaigns over on Indiegogo. So altogether, I've raised almost $50,000 crowdfunding comics, which is really cool to say. And it's really awesome to be here and to continue to make comics and to be able to show these off. And, this only happens because of you, for people who are backing and listening and watching and tuning in and supporting me. Um, this year's been a very exciting year for me. I got 2 publishing deals over the summer for 2 different projects, and I'm can't announce them yet. I can't talk about them yet, but they are real. And there might be an announcement at New York Comic Con next week, which I need to talk about because I'm going to be there in New York. But if not, it will be announced soon. Um, the first one, and then the second one will be announced hopefully soon as well. So there's a lot of great things that are coming up, and this only has happened. This only uh, I've only gotten here because of everyone who supported me, because otherwise I don't think I'd be here. I don't think I'd be making comics if it were not for everyone's encouragement and um, enthusiasm for what I'm creating. And that's something I love about the indie comics community and the space. While that word might be cliche, some people shy away from it. Like, we are a community in a lot of ways, and it's important to share your work with others. And I've made so many connections over the years. And Ben, his work on We Are Scarlet Twilight and August Purgatory Underground, like, I loved, and I was like, I want to work with this guy. And that's how it's been with a lot of different people over the years. And then I've been able to work with people in Marvel and DC and Dark Horse and Image and all these amazing creators. So while I've been uh, transitioning from a fan to a creator, I've still been able to be a fan. And that's so cool to be, but like you're like, and all comic book creators are fans. Like we're fans of this stuff. This is like in our blood. And we're always trying to um share our love of comics and what we grew up with, and like continue that on, like continue the tradition. And whether it be superhero comics, which is what I'm mostly referring to because that's what I grew up on. But as I got older, I started to branch out, read more stuff, expand my horizons, really see what the medium can do. And, it's changed my life in so many ways. And not to get on a soapbox, but like, this is just what I feel like I was made to do, what I love doing, what gets me up in the morning. And people need to find that because it's a game changer. I mean, there's no other way to live, I don't think, than waking up every morning and going, this is what I was born to do. And like, I'm excited. I'm excited to work with these people and collaborate and make art together and do something really special. And, there's one of my favorite authors. I was listening to a podcast, and, he said he wanted to be a writer because he wanted to change the world. Like authors used to like want that, want to change the world, want to shape it, want to ruffle people's feathers in a sense, and make them see the world in a different way. And that's what I want to do. Like that speaks to me. And comics can do that because comics have done that for me. So yeah, I just encourage people to find your passion, stick with your passion. I've been doing this for like 8 years now, and I just got my publishing deals this year. So it's a marathon. You got to keep at it. So it's just really exciting. Before I show the covers, I did want to mention New York. So New York Comic Con, I'll be there next week, all 4 days. I'm going to be running around everywhere. It's first time in New York. It's going to be wild. I got a pro pass, so that's really cool. I'll be able to hang out in the pro lounge and uh, be a part of some exclusive, meetings or panels and things like that. So that's really exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait to meet people there. I've been messaging people, and there's a lot of people there that I know that I'd love to see. And the first time I'll meet them in person, and other people I'll meet again. So if you're in New York next week, hit me up. Let me know if you're going to be there. Uh, I cannot wait. I mean, everyone's going to be there. Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, um, Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta, like Jim Zub, Jim Rugg, all the gems, Jim Mafood, um, uh, Al Ewing. Like, there's so many creators that are going to be there. Matt Fraction. Uh, I wrote down an entire list of people I want to meet. Chris Condon, who's writing Ultimate Wolverine right now. Dennis Camp. I mean, I'm like, it's just going to be mind boggling. And like the amount of people that are going to be there, it'll be wild. It'll be the biggest convention I've ever been to. And then, I went to Star Wars Celebration in Japan, which in April, and that was pretty massive. But I feel like this is going to be even bigger than that. Um, that's a whole other thing to talk about too, Japan. But anyways, I'm going to try to keep it keep it focused. But this is just really cool to be here with everyone. And the other thing I want to say is I put it in the chat, in the YouTube chat for people that are watching. Please sign up to be notified when Seasons Volumes 1 and 2 launch on Kickstarter. We're launching October 21st, so just in a couple weeks. Let me actually, I think I can do this. Yeah, let me share this. All right, so here we are. This is the campaign, and we are at 150 followers. Like I said, I put the link in the chat. Please sign up. I'd love to get to 200 before we go live. That would be amazing. We're going to be reprinting the first 2 volumes of Seasons in a trade paperback edition. We have 3 different covers for each volume. And while I don't have them displayed on this preview page, you can find them on my socials. They're kind of all over the place. And yeah, this is where it all started for me. And we are really getting everyone hyped up and rolling out the red carpet for uh, Volume 3 fall. This is kind of a big reason why we wanted to do this, why I wanted to do this, because I sold out of the hardcovers for Volume 1 and I'm almost sold out for Volume 2. And if we're going to offer Volume 3, we need those to be available to people. So, they're going to be a little bit cheaper than the hardcovers. There's a little bit more options. Even if you have volumes 1 and 2, I would really appreciate you guys backing still because, like I said, we'll have new covers, and we'll also have a 28-page ash can for volume 3. So, for everyone who's been waiting, who's been really excited about seasons, and has been waiting to see the next part in Fletcher's story, this is the first exclusive chance to be able to see where Fletcher's story goes from here. So this campaign is going to offer, like I said, a 28-page ash can, basically the entire first chapter of Volume 3 Fall. So for everyone who's been following me and been following this series, I do have something for you. That was something that I thought was important. But also, if you just wanted to tune in and check out the campaign and back it because, hey, you're a big fan and you want to collect all the different versions of seasons, like this is your time too, and it'd be very helpful for me because while I'm trying to expand my audience, it's been a while since I've put out volume 2, and I've been putting out Man-Child and The Fabled Offering and other books, working on some anthologies. This is a series I've been wanting to finish for so long, and it's really important that we're able to finish this series because no one likes an uncompleted story. I know what it's like to follow a book at Image or one of these other companies, and they come out with the first few issues or the first volume or two, and then they never finish it. And that's something I want to avoid as much as possible. So we're hoping that laying out the trade paperback editions as we get ready for fall will help with getting people on board with this series and getting more eyes on it, because that's what it's all about. And we want this series to be as big as possible. It's going to be 4 volumes, nearly 500 pages altogether. So yeah, I mean, it's a really big, ambitious series, and this is what I started out with. So started my career with, if we want to call it that, I guess. The next thing I want to point people to is going to be my newsletter. So, and I promise I'm going to get to the covers soon. I'm just kind of waiting for people to fly in here, and we'll get to the books. But I wanted to do some housekeeping, let people know where I am with things. If you want to follow me, I do have a newsletter, foxholecomics.substack.com. And as you can see, I let everyone know I was going to go live tonight. But I put this link in the chat as well. But yeah, so I've just finished doing an entire series on creating my first comic. So for anyone who wanted to know how I made seasons and how I created my first book, kind of my first 2 books, to be honest, this series here that I have on my newsletter as well as on my YouTube channel, I did like audio recordings of the articles. You can listen to those, or you can tune in here and read them. So there's that. I also did a recent article called "The World Outside Your Window," and this features some art. It's kind of actually a companion piece to Man-Child issue 3, the book we're going to be looking at today. So if anyone is interested in kind of my thought process behind this issue and what I wanted to comment on and talk about, this article here is for you. And I think it's very timely, and we can also talk about that more as we get into it. But okay, so I know why you guys are here. I'm going to stop beating around the bush, and we're gonna get into it. So it's time. It's really time. Uh, we're gonna unbox Manchild issue 3. Let me get a sip of my coffee. All right, are you ready? I'm ready. So let's do this thing. Okay. So, uh, we have 4 covers. We have the main cover by Jay Mazar. We have cover B by Pablo Romero. We have cover C by Nathan Lorenzana. And then we have the Steve Epting cover and then Ben's gatefold cover. So, yeah, I think that is that 5? Let's see, A, B, C, D. That is 5. Wow. Um, yeah, I had so many covers, and I was looking at issues 1 and 2, and I have a lot of covers for those issues as well. And not to toot my own horn, but like I'm just so grateful and like thankful for all of the artists I've been able to work with. And we can show them off and talk about them a little bit, but all the people I've been able to work with on this series is just like blows my mind. Like it's like so exciting, and it's just so cool to like work with the people that you've always dreamed of being able to like see your name by them, like see your name in the credits and their name in the credits alongside yours. So um that's the awesome part about making comics. Yeah, it reminds me, it's like like if if people needed people who are not the biggest comic book fans, it's like if you were an up and coming movie director and you got to work with like Tom Cruise or Daniel Day Lewis. It's like, whoa, like a giant, like a hero. Or if you were a musician and you just like had been, doing gigs and you opened for, U2 or the Killers, and you're just like, wow, I get to share a stage with these people. So that's what it's like in the comic book world too. You get to be able to share a stage with people that you really admire. So that's what we get to do, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I want to do, and I'm just so grateful for everyone who's wanted to work on my projects with me. All right, so let's do this. I got the box down here, and yeah, I'm gonna open it up. All right. Okay, so we're gonna look at Jay's cover first. Let me. Well, I'll show it here. Well, let's see. I'll put it over here, and then I will share my screen or change my screen. All right, change camera. Voila! All right, guys. Here is Jay's main cover for Manchild issue 3. This is the book, guys. This is it. It's got all my books, a little ad here on the back, and a QR code. Oh man, this turned out awesome. Then we got Charles W. Morgan. What's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. We are unboxing Manchild issue 3. So yeah, this is the first cover reveal of this issue. This cover was done by Jay Mazar. He is the series artist on the book. So this is the main cover, cover A, we like to say in the comic book industry. And this features the first appearance of the Sadistic Six. So, all of you Spider Man fans out there will understand that reference. And I wanted to expand Monarch Cryer's Rogues Gallery and show off, do some world building and show off all the type of characters that he's fought, you know, over the years, so to speak, because this is a book that is heavily inspired by the 60s, 70s era of Marvel Comics and, yeah, the Silver Age. So we got the Crane up here. We got Summit, who is getting bigger here. He can change his size. Shout out to Summit Comics. We got Ivory Horn, Postman, Highness Helen, and then down here, Bitter Pill. So yeah, this is pretty dope. This looks great. Let's real quick. Look at that. Issues 1, 2, and 3 right beside each other here. That is pretty cool. Let's see here. I wonder if I can put my camera in here too. No. Okay. But yeah, sorry, I'm just like like how can I like edit this this camera angle? So here we are. We got issues 1, 2, and 3 of Man Child. This looks awesome. Okay, so let's let us take a peek. Look inside it real quick before we get to the other covers. All right, so we got our credits here. Got J Mazar, the artist. There's me. DC Hopkins did a fantastic job. He always pulls through for me, designing the book, getting it ready for the printer. Without him, I'd be like so lost. And then we have the variant covers listed here. We got Steve Epting, Benjamin W. Morse, Pablo Romero, and Nathan Lorenzana. So here we go. And as you can see, it says dedicated to Stan Lee. And this issue is entitled Wednesday Warrior. You know, man, it takes so long to make comics. Like, it shouldn't. You wouldn't think so. Like, I mean, especially in the indie world, it really takes long. It's a lot different than, you know, churning them out month by month. But it takes a lot of money, a lot of time when you're, you know, doing it all on your own. I mean, Jay and I started working on this, you know, a year ago, year and a half ago, really, almost 2 years, I guess, to be honest. So for this issue to be out is kind of like just, you know, amazing. Like man, like it's just been so long. But yeah, so we got Rufus here, and we're just gonna kind of like take a little peek through. I don't want to spoil it all. I do want to let backers know that I sent out the digital copies today. So everyone who backed this book at the digital tier, you have the book right in your inbox on Kickstarter, and it's available for you to download. I'm going to keep the link live for about 2 weeks, and then I will remove the file from the folder. So it'll only be available, you know, for the next 2 weeks to download if you backed it digitally. Also, all physical backers get a digital copy. So check your inboxes, guys, and download it, and you'll have the book, and you can read it today if you like to. But you know, I'm old school. I like, I mean, especially for a book like this that's supposed to be kind of a throwback to the Silver Age. The best way to read it is physically, I think. Um, but hey, if you are a digital fiend and you love your digital comics, that's awesome, and you can do it. So down here we got Nondor Foxtrot Schaefer, Jay the Maker Mazar, and DC Hallelujah Hopkins. So, old Marvel comics always used to do this, where they had a little, nickname or kind of like a special wink to the creator, and each issue there's a different um, like little nickname that we have for all of us. So just kind of playing into that. But yeah, so and we got this parade going on outside Uncle Chester's comic shop. And I won't get into spoilers here, but this is a really, really emotional, impactful story. If you did read my newsletter article, there's a big reason why there's a parade going on and what happens during it. And it's this story is really about the world outside your window. That's how I like to put it. And um, this entire series is about reality and fantasy, and the idea of like bridging that gap, and the joys and pitfalls of escapism, and how Stan Lee and Marvel in particular, they were, everything was set in New York, everything was set in the real world, so to speak. Whereas DC Comics, everything was set in Gotham and, Star City and Metropolis and Central City and Keystone. So like everything kind of felt like once more removed from reality. Whereas in Marvel, when 9/11 happened, that amazing issue by J. Michael Straczynski, an Amazing Spider-Man, in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man, and that issue in particular. And if you look at a lot of comics that have dealt with real world issues, and I think was it a Peter David Incredible Hulk issue that dealt with like AIDS, the AIDS epidemic in the 80s, and Scott McCloud's Zot dealt with homophobia, I think during the 80s or 90s. There's a lot of books that have kind of touched on these topics and have had something to say. And I think comics are a great way to bring to light things that are happening in society that you would like to help to raise awareness of, and also to show how your fellow man is important to protect and be an ally in that sense. And so if you want to read more about it and kind of my thought process, like I said, I recommend reading that article or listening to my video. And I just hope I hope people respond well to this book. And I think it's really important to be a hero, not only wish to be a hero, and not only look at our heroes and go, man, I wish I was like that built. I wish I was that strong. I wish I could do these things. It's like we can do these things in little ways in the real world. And Rufus gets the opportunity to be a hero in this issue, and he takes that opportunity. And I think that is just such a powerful message that we can send to people. It's like any way you can be a hero to others, because that's what these characters have done for us. They've done for me, that they inspire you. And so Rufus gets to live that out in this issue. And I just think, I wish we could, honor heroes every day, and find the opportunities where we can help others on a day to day basis, whether it be in small things or large things that happen. Um, Speaking of heroes, though, these are not heroes. These are the villains. So this is a great two-page splash by Jay here. Originally this was actually going to be a one-page splash, but Jay was like, "No, no, no! Like, come on! Like, we got to show them all here." And it gave us enough room to feature them in this light. And I thought, um, it has a classic Marvel vibe to it, and seeing all these characters and also seeing like their introductory, um, you know, scene here, and their names, and having them be featured here was just really a great idea. So Jay knocked it out of the park. With this particular issue, so at the end of issue 2, Professor Pilgrim is actually has these guys imprisoned, and you don't see them yet. They're not revealed yet, but he's talking to people in these cells, and you're like, I wonder who he's like referring to. Like, who's he talking to? And this is the issue where we get to see, and um, he puts on a game for them where they have to. If you haven't been following the series, Monarch Cryer, the superhero character in this book, is stranded on an island, and Professor Pilgrim has also captured uh, Monarch Cryer's rogues gallery, and he puts on a game for them to hunt Monarch Cryer, not kill him, but bring him in alive. And whoever is the character who can do that, whoever does that, accomplishes that, they are able to leave the island. So the idea here is the villains have to band together to defeat the Monarch Cryer, but only one of the villains will be able to escape. So eventually, you would have to imagine they're going to have to start fighting each other because, like, we can't all leave here together. So this is like where we start out here, and he's explaining the rules of the game, and then we see Monarch here climbing, and on his own. His wings are completely like torn up, and he's having to fend for himself, and he cannot escape this fate that he has, um, the circumstance that he has entered. So I'm not going to go throughout the entire book and explain everything, but I just kind of want to give you guys a context for what we're looking at here. But these pages turned out beautifully. I mean, it looks great. The quality's there. What do you guys think? How does it look? Let me know in the chat, in the comments. If you want me to zoom in here, or if you have any questions about the character, the book, inspirations, anything like that, let me know what you guys think. I want this to be, as interactive as possible, and just want to show off where we are here. Man, these 2 pages here are just like killer. Like, seeing these side by side, like, like this gets me excited. This is so cool. So yeah, then we get back to Rufus's story here, and we just kind of go back and forth between the superhero world and Rufus's world. I'll stop here since we're like halfway through of the issue, but man, it turned out great. This cover, the paper, the issue itself, looks awesome. All right, guys. So we're gonna fly through the other covers, and we're gonna take a look at what's next. So we got here. I'll keep this one here. This is cover A by Jay Mazar, the series artist, and we're gonna hunt for cover B by Pablo Romero. So let me. I'm back. I'm back. I'll get another drink here. Let's take a look at the next cover. All right, I got it. Let us switch up here. Look at this guy. Oh yeah. This really pops. This is like even better in person. So this is Highness Helen taking on Rufus here. And this is the first time that we have a character from like Rufus's world like interacting with one of the other characters in the Monarch Crier storyline. But yeah, it just turned out so good. I love the like foreshortening here. Yeah, Ben says, love that one. Exactly. Isn't that dope? That is so good. And you see like the wings of the butterfly like burning alive like from her sword, and pieces of it is like falling down like embers. Um, it's just like totally aflame. Yeah, that turned out awesome. This is like gonna pop so well on my table, like at conventions and signings and stuff. Like this red here, like it's just gonna bam catch your attention. But yeah, this turned out really good. Awesome. I love it. You know, you stare at these images like for so long, and then like you finally get it in your hand and you're like, damn, like that, like I'm glad I worked with this artist. Like this looks awesome. This is like what I wanted. Okay, guys, next up we are going to check out the Nathan Lorenzana cover. Oh, okay. Let's see. Switch it up here. And voila. Whoa. All right, guys. This is the sexy cover, right? Like this is pretty crazy. Um that turned out beautifully. Get my shadow off of here. So this cover features Highness Helen and the Crane. And Nathan did a fantastic job. This is digitally done, digitally painted by Nathan Lorenzana. He is an amazing artist. He's done some covers for Dynamite, and I know he's done some like store exclusive covers or like convention exclusive covers, I believe, for certain publishers or certain vendors. Um, and I just love his art. I found him like a long time ago, and I just loved his ability to capture kind of this like almost painterly photorealistic style, and it just looks awesome. uh yeah, so this looks great. I wanted to feature the female villains. I thought I loved their designs. Jay and I worked on these designs. I sent Jay like my sketches and my ideas for each one, and which actually one of these days, I think I may have shown them on a previous stream, but so to like see them fully formed and see other artists work on these designs, uh, and like how cool they look. Like I love them. Like I really love these designs. I feel like they're really unique. I love the names of these characters, and each of them like has a different skill set and power set. So it's just really cool to see them all together and see them rendered by different artists. All right, the next one, we are going to look at the Steve Epting variant. Sorry, Ben, I know I'm saving yours for last, but um, it's just really like I cannot wait to open that up and to look at that. I think that's like the one to end on. But let's look at the Steve Epting one, and then we'll get to Ben's cover. All right, guys. So I just want to do a little introduction here because this is huge. Like this is huge for me. Real quick, I got so so this is the Death of Captain America graphic novel, um, which Ed Brubaker won the Eisner for Best Writer. Um, I don't know if maybe for this story in particular or this year in particular, but Ed Brubaker is one of my favorite comic book writers of all time, and he and Steve Epting uh, completely. Oh well, here we go. Here we go. You're reading my mind, Ben. Like here we go. Yeah. So Ben asked, quick question: what was the Epting book that made him your favorite? So it's his Captain America run. Like that was so. It's kind of twofold. Like this is what really did it for me was his run with Ed Brubaker, but it was also um, the work that followed it. So he and Hickman worked on Fantastic Four and the Death of Johnny Storm, and then Steve Epting also worked on Velvet with Ed Brubaker at Image, and he also did Sarah with I think Garth Ennis. Oh, one of my lights went out here. He did. No. Dang it, guys! It got dark. Let me see here. What can I do? What can I do to get this brighter? There we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Um, we'll figure it out. All right. Anyways, yeah. So, but I think he did. I want to say he did about 50 issues of Captain America, maybe more. I may have that number wrong, but he did. A few years, maybe even more than that. But anyways, it was the Captain America book, The Death of Captain America in particular. This was like one of the first graphic novels I ever picked up. I was a huge fan of Wizard magazine back in the day, and I really got into Captain America once Bucky became Captain America. Uh, and I was really fascinated with that idea of like Bucky coming back and how did that happen and the Winter Soldier and who was he and how did this affect Steve Rogers? So like for a while, Bucky was like my Captain America, and then as I went back and was hunting down all the previous issues, um, I started to fall in love with Steve Rogers and the Bucky Captain America dynamic and like their history together and the whole Winter Soldier tragedy. So all of this was just like such a huge influential. It's what made me fall in love with comics, because I'd watched, the Marvel movies before the MCU. Like, I was just starting to get into comics when the first Iron Man came out in 2008, and um, but like there was so much more history. It's like the movies are great gateways into comics. Like that's how I've always seen movies, the Marvel movies to be. And the comic book history is just so much richer, and there's so much to unpack, and it's when you go into a comic book store, your mind just explodes. You're like, oh my gosh, like there's so many stories with these characters, and look at all they've been through. Um, and then when you become uh, so absorbed in comics, and then when you start to watch the movies, you start to see where they're pulling these stories from. um and so you get to like the source material, and you get to see like how these characters should be um adapted, and how they should be um characterized on screen and everything. So um well, I think, sometimes the movies can bring a character to the forefront like the Iron Man films did, and like make a character click in a way that they hadn't before, make them more palatable. Um, I think it's always good to go back to the source material and actually see like what kind of character, who were they before the movies, and kind of get an idea of what maybe changed after, because that can really happen a lot of the time. But with Captain America, the Winter Soldier movie, while not, a one-to-one adaptation of the Winter Soldier storyline, um, pretty faithful in terms of characterization. But yeah, it was the death of Captain America was really what made Steve Epting's work stick out to me, especially colored by Frank D'Armata. Um, like it's like the perfect pairing, and yeah, it just like this is like the pinnacle of Captain America storytelling, and the artwork that Steve Epting, like he's great at doing, old war stuff, but also espionage stuff. So this is just so huge for me. This issue right here was the first Captain America single issue that my brother picked up for me at Hastings. If anyone remembers Hastings back in the day, it was like I think a Midwest chain of like used movies. You could rent movies there, you could get comics there, you could get toys there. They just had like a bunch of everything. But when they started getting comics, this is where we would go to get comics initially before going to the comic book store. But this was the first issue that my brother brought me. Um, and this is also a Steve Epting cover. Um, and this is Bucky as Captain America fighting Namor. So, and this is where I started collecting comics. Like, started to understand they came out monthly, and I wanted part two. And then I would, go to the comic book store and get the back issues and get all caught up. So, um, this was what, like almost 20 years ago, probably like 16, 17 years ago. And so here we are today. This is all uh, a part of the history of what makes what I'm about to show you guys so important to me, because Steve Epting is like a legend to me. Like he encapsulates the beauty of, um I would say, like the epitome of superhero storytelling, but like for modern day audiences. Like Steve, he kind of reinvented himself, I would say, for the Captain America book in a way, because he worked on Avengers, I think, in the 90s. And um there's uh, you look at his work, and um you can tell it's Steve Epting, but I don't think it wasn't until I think this book that you really could see him like like become who he is. Like he became Steve Epting with this book. Um, but I don't I haven't read like a lot of the older stuff that he's worked on. Um, yes, exactly. Tom Palmer. Yes. And that stuff was fantastic. And so I think oh cool. So he did. That's when I became a fan. Yeah, during the Avengers stuff. And I've been wanting to go back to those. And I think I have like he was a part of I remember that really awesome foil vision cover, that like embossed or debossed vision cover. And I remember picking that up, and that was like Steve Epstein's art on the inside. And I know he did some really iconic vision covers back in the day. Who was writing that? Was that like Steve Englehart, or I could be getting that wrong? But anyways, his work then was really great. But it was really the Captain America stuff that really put him on the map. So yeah, um, this is big for me. I never would have thought I never would have thought, okay, making an indie comic, um, I'd be able to work with Steve Epting. Like I thought, oh, I'd probably have to, work at a bigger company. Um, and he was just so gracious to work with me. I didn't know if he would like the book. I didn't know if it'd be the right fit. Like you just don't know, and you also don't want to like give someone who's so professional, give them a project or work with them on a project that is like not to their caliber. Like you want to you want the style and the professionalism to match. And I want the story and the book to be good enough to warrant a cover from Steve Epting. Like that's how I think about it. Because if I'm not doing my job, if I'm not doing my part, what am I doing working with these people who are legends to me? So anyways, we're gonna take a look, and I guess I'll show it here while with me, because my light I think it's gonna be too dark to show it another way. um but here it is. All right, so let me try not to have too much of a glare. But this is the Steve Epting cover, and this is amazing. And like I've talked about this cover ad nauseum, like on social media and when I was promoting the campaign. So I don't want to harp on it and like fanboy out, I guess, too much, overkill. But like what really gets me is the signature right there. Like that is iconic to me. And like getting a cover with that signature on it, like I never thought in a million years, like, whoa. like I'm just over the moon. I don't have the words, I don't have the words. It's why I'm a writer, because I can't really think off the top of my head too well. But like this is this is just amazing to me. And initially, I remember when I reached out to him, he was like, um, you caught me at a good time because I'm in between contracts right now. So if I were to work on something, like this would be the time to do it, because he's not like exclusive to anyone. Sorry, I'm just showing that signature again. But so like that just worked out. That was like, serendipitous. And then um, I know he was on a few deadlines. And initially, I think we were thinking about, um, you know, doing a lot of detail with all the characters. But I love how they're all like surrounding him in silhouette. and Monarch is really the feature. And then Professor Pilgrim's eyes back here. I mean, this is like this. This is like this reminds me of uh, whenever Steve Epting would work on old like the war stories in Captain America, or when he would do like Nick Fury, like anytime he would draw Nick Fury with the eye patch, like that was always so iconic. Um, and these covers here, I mean, I could pull out all the covers that Steve Epting has done that I have in my collection, but um, I love how Helen's sword is like this white flame, like the way he was able to marry all the different colors and with like the warmth and the coolness of it and the green and the orange, like it just I remember getting this in my email inbox and like, whoa, like am I ready, like will I be able to comprehend this? But this has turned out so great, and it has the sadistic six all surrounding Monarch, and he just did an amazing job. Like what a killer cover, and I'm so proud to say I've worked with him. And um, if you're at New York next week and you back this, let me know. I'm gonna bring like a few copies with me, and share it around and let people know about it. Like, hey, I worked with the co-creator of the Winter Soldier. Like, here it is. So I got to show it off. I got to share Steve's work. I'm a fan. Like, I want to share it. I love his work. I think he deserves all the praise. I think he should have more work. I don't know why people are, I don't see his name everywhere. Like, he should be everywhere. But it's just so cool to see this. And then, like the first comic I got on the stands, and then working with Steve Epting. Like, wow. So, um, yeah, this is special. This is special to me. All right, Ben, let us do it. Let's look at it together here. Thanks for hanging out with me and being here. This is really cool. So let's check out how your cover turned out. Now, this, like I said, I haven't seen this before. I haven't seen this done before. Also, I don't know, like, I don't know if the printer gets these requests that often. Like I remember throughout, my time in indie comics and seeing what people have been able to work on. They've done like foils and holographics and glow in the dark covers, all that type of stuff. But like a gatefold cover, I just don't see it happen enough. So like I'm like, let's try something new. Let's do something a little bit more innovative here. But yeah, let's check it out. So let's do it. Okay, guys. All right, Ben, are you ready? Okay, so this is going to fold out here. I'm going to show off the front and the back, and then we're going to fold it out. It looks perfect. So get ready. Yeah, they killed this. Okay. In the best way possible. So here is like the cover folded in. This is the front. So we have the crane and ivory horn. Looks beautiful. And then on the back, we have Postman and Bitter Pill. And so these are going to be 4 panels of like cover artwork here. And then this is the Foxhole Comics logo here. So this is the back, like I said. And I mean, the colors and everything, like just looking at it, it looks awesome. Oh, this one, the Bitter Pill. Let's see what Ben says here. The back here. Yeah. And so for people who are watching, like the villains here are rushing. So like if we are just to show off like a standard wraparound cover, like so they're all rushing towards someone. So like who do you think they're rushing towards? But like this is like the first part of it here. Let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah, the back. Well, I think every part is epic. All right, so I'm gonna I'm gonna move backwards a little here so I can show off the full thing. So just bear with me. All right, so how about let's do this first. All right, so here is man. This is difficult to do. I'm just gonna show this off and then I'll bring the mic back to me. All right, so that's three panels. So this is folding out from the back of the comic, as you can see. So yeah, this is this. So these three panels here. This is the front, and then the back, and then uh, the fold in of the back cover. All right, and so this is the full piece. Let me take. Let's see. Can I? How can I? No. Let me take my name off here. I want like the full screen here. Really? They need my name? Okay. So yeah, what do you think, Ben? Well, how does this look? Let's see. Um, get my. It turned out awesome. Yeah, awesome to see. Awesome. I'm glad you're happy with it. I'm gonna definitely send you one. If you want a couple, just let me know. Like if you, I don't know, like if you ever do a con and you want to sell a couple. So yeah, guys, Ben Morse did this cover. So yeah, all the villains are charging towards the Monarch Crier, and Professor Pilgrim is in the background there. So this has all the Sadistic Six, and this, like I said, it was inspired. The idea was inspired by Jim Lee's X Men #1. All right, it's epic. I mean, it turned out really great. Um, like it's exactly what I had in mind. Um, it's exactly what I had in mind for the book and for this cover. I mean, like I'm gonna put this on my table and like, man, I hope people, I hope it catches people's attention. But it turned out just fantastic. And I think I mentioned before, like I'm thinking about like getting a custom made tablecloth or having my banner like behind me at cons and like using this image and just having it like completely blown up behind me. Like I think that would be so cool. Um, But yeah, I love your work on this, Ben. Like it looks amazing. I think all the characters look awesome. Great like positioning. I love Summit here being in the foreground. Like he just looks like really strong and formidable, and it's just a great great sense of scale with all the different characters. And I just love the idea of like opening it up and seeing Monarch there, like getting ready to like launch a punch. Like it's almost like, okay, all these guys are charging me here. Oh, excellent. Yeah, dude. I couldn't imagine anyone else doing it. Like to be completely honest, like it's I see your work and kind of in the same realm of Steve Epting. I see your work in the indie scene. Um and I think um your ability to capture heroism um is bar none. Like I don't think anyone else does it as well as you, cuz when I read, maybe it's just the style of fan I am, like the kind of comic book fan I am, but like Ben's work, your work, Ben, when I look at it and when I read it, I go, this guy gets it. Like he's speaking my language. Like he knows, he's reading my mind. I don't know. Like I don't know what it is, because I know we're not like the same generation or whatever, but like I think we appreciate the same style of storytelling. Um and that's what I love about your books and what you've been able to do. And that's why I was like, I gotta work with Ben. Like I remember the first time I saw We Are Scarlet Twilight, I was like, gotta work with this guy. And some of your like digital, like your more painterly stuff, some of your like covers you did for We Are Scarlet Twilight, it gave me like an Epting vibe. Like it really did. So um that's why I gravitated to you and your work. I'm like, this is the kind of comics I want to read. And you've always been a very big proponent of the superhero, um, you know, the optimism, the earnestness of superheroes, and that's something that I don't think we get enough of. Hey Larry, what's up, dude? Thanks for stopping by. It's been a long time. I'm showing off Man Child issue 3. I was just showing off the gatefold cover by Ben Morris. I don't know if you missed it or saw it or not, but I was able to do a full on X-Men #1 gatefold cover for this issue. So really, really proud of it. And Ben Morse did the cover, and it looks beautiful. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Ben says, thanks so much. I think we're both chasing the same type of heroic stuff in our work. Exactly. That's what we're doing. And I love what you guys are doing over, Summit Comics. Like, um, I think the idea of bringing superheroes back and like superheroes are dead or superhero fatigue, or you know, I think no one likes bad stories. I think that's what it is. No one likes bad movies. Um, and you can, if you write a good story and you write a good character, whether they be superheroes or not, it can still just it can be as exciting as anything else. And so I totally agree with you. Larry says, "Good, yeah, just popped in." Well, thanks, dude. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I haven't streamed in like a year. I'm not. I've been doing YouTube videos, and I've been, sharing my workout, doing my newsletter, um, and working on my other books and stuff. But I just haven't been doing a lot of streaming. I will be on tour, on my streaming tour for my next Kickstarter. Um, so Larry, if you're ever, if you need a guest or whatever, let me know. I'd be happy to stop by. I know it's been a long time. But October 21st, I'm launching my new Kickstarter for seasons volumes 1 and 2, and I'm going to be doing as many shows as possible, uh, and sharing it out and letting people know about it. So I'm really excited. And I'll be, like I said, at New York next week. Um, and yeah, speaking of New York, um, I need to go watch the Yankees, guys. I think, yeah, I think they just started playing, so they're up against the Red Sox. I'm a big baseball fan. I kind of like. I'm not a huge sports person. I was really big into baseball as a kid. Kind of got out of it. I'm getting a little bit more in, but they're for MLB fans. You understand how big of a night this is for the Yankees if they win and able to keep going in the postseason here. But thank you everyone for stopping by, and I appreciate everyone for tuning in and being here. Sorry I was late again, but all the covers look fantastic. I do want to show off them one last time. So here we got the gatefold cover by doing I mean, sorry, I got distracted. Gatefold cover by Ben Morris. We got this cover by Winter Soldier co-creator Steve Epting, the legendary Steve Epting. We have this cover by Nathan Lorenzana. Next cover by Pablo Romero. And then here we go. The final main cover by Jay Mazar. So these books turned out beautifully. I'm going to start physical fulfillment this weekend, starting to, pack up the books, ship them, try to get as much of it done as possible before going to New York next week. So yeah, I'm going to be working hard here. See, Ben says he's a Reds fan trying to work up some enthusiasm for the Guardian. Yeah. Um, let's see. I hope how are they doing? I haven't checked to see are they playing tonight or are they playing this weekend? But I hope they pull through. Um, I know the Padres and the Cubs were going at it this afternoon, I think, but I don't know who won yet. I need to go check. But yes, hopefully both our teams can push through. But yeah, guys. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate everyone for sticking through and being here. It's awesome to chat with you all. And like I said, you'll see me at New York Comic Con next week. Um, I have some announcements coming up. I have some stories and some anthologies coming up. I also will be doing a lot of different shows starting October 21st. I'll be on all the channels and talking comics. So you'll see me. I'll be I'll be around. I'll be around. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and hope everyone stays safe. Love making comics. Thank you for all your support, and I hope to see you guys at a convention or a signing, and you guys just take care. So yeah, I will talk with you guys later. Peace out and keep reading comics.